What's up, my name is Adrian from IneedAnAntihistamine.com, and a few of you guys asked me to do some predictions for various leagues across Europe. So let's do that. If you're finding me for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a comment in the comment section so we can talk. That's about it. Besides, let's get it! Starting with the Portuguese League, and Benfica's gonna win again to make it 5 in a row. And that's it. Okay, Ligue 1. I'm joking. Of course. Well, sort of. As I don't really see much evidence for any other team to beat Benfica to the Primeira Liga title this season. However, I'm also getting the vibe that FC Porto isn't playing around this season and they'll want to end that Benfica title winning streak at 4. But can they? Well, one thing I will say about FC Porto is that I'm not completely convinced that their new manager, Sergio Conceição, has the aptitude to lead this team to a Portuguese title. He's relatively new as far as managers go, which can be both a good thing and a bad thing, as that ignorance is bliss type of deal. That being said, FC Porto has a great squad this season, with guys like Oliver, the return of Abubakar, and I think with Benfica, their main weakness is going to be their goalkeeping position. Sorry, Julio Cesar. And their defense, as I don't see a very convincing center back besides Luizão in there. And we definitely need a new right back. As far as Sporting goes, come on. They're perpetually third place. That's what Jorge Jesus signed up for. So it'll be Benfica, FC Porto, Sporting, and then Vitória Guimarães, just squeaking past Braga in the last few weeks of the season. Alright, for real this time, let's look at the Ligue 1. Two teams from this league have been rated for their stars, both Lyon and Monaco. Lyon, of course, lost the most with Lacazette, Mamana, Tolisso, Gonalon, Valbuena, and Ribas all leaving. But Monaco did lose some key players as well, with Bakayoko, Mendy, and Bernardo Silva leaving, and potentially Mbappe if rumors are to be believed. Don't count out the departures of Fabinho and Lamar as well. That's big time wholesale changes, and big time wholesale changes don't serve you too well when your rivals have largely kept their squads together, and we're talking about Nice and PSG here. Bar a few changes to their squads, if anything, they have strengthened their teams. So with that being said, Monaco, are they going to win it again? I don't personally think so, but they will still cause some problems, as even if they do lose Mbappe and Lamar, they still have Falcao, who is an amazing finisher. So I'm going to say that PSG is going to run away with it. And this is my main prediction for this league. They're going to win it by a record amount of points. And by that I mean points accumulated, not points gap. In second place, we're going to have Nice, third, Monaco, Lyon in fourth, and Marseille in fifth. That's it for the Ligue 1. Next up, the Bundesliga, and I honestly don't see much of a change in their standings from last season to this season, except for one notable change, in that RB Leipzig is not going to be as strong this season as they were last year, where they finished second. So they're out of the top 4 for me. Hoffenheim and Dortmund, this is where it gets sticky. I think that Hoffenheim, as they exhibited against Liverpool, still have a lot of quality and will continue to do well under Julian Nagelsmann, despite losing key players in Sule and Rudy. Dortmund, on the other hand, does worry me a little bit, as with their new manager, Peter Bosch, who had a decent season with Ajax despite not winning a single piece of silverware. He, for me, is far too unproven to be managing at Dortmund. However, you can say that in Jurgen Klopp and Thomas Tuchel, they made the same approach where they put a largely unproven manager at the helm. But the thing is that Dortmund is a big club, and their fans are going to start demanding trophies soon, as they haven't won anything in the last 3 seasons, unless you want to pull a Mourinho and count the DFB Super Cup. So I think that it's going to be a bit of a difficult season for Dortmund. Now, given that it's basically a foregone conclusion that Bayern Munich is going to win the league again, as they've only strengthened their squad by bringing in players like James Rodriguez and Tolisso, the aforementioned Tolisso from Lyon. But I think that we will get a surprise in that Hoffenheim will finish in second with Dortmund in third. But speaking of Bayern, I think that Ancelotti is going to place a lot of his team's focus on the Champions League this season, as Carlo Ancelotti is Mr. Champions League, winning it 3 times already, as well as when he was a player. And I believe that the fans of Bayern will demand, or at least expect, a deep run into the Champions League, if not a winner's medal. They're an elite club, and elite clubs win the Champions League, and they want to keep on doing that. Alright, the Serie A. Now that, my friends, is a very interesting league this season. As for the first time in quite a while, Juventus don't seem like the out-and-out clear winners. Well, at least not far and away favorites. I still think that they are favorites. AC Milan has revolutionized their squad. Calling it an improvement is an understatement. Roma has kept most of their squad together and brought in a few players thanks to Monchi, though they did lose a key dude in Mo Salah. Inter Milan finally has a solid manager in Luciano Spalletti, the man who does know how to win in Italy. Plus they've kept key components of their squad like Perisic and Icardi. And then there's Napoli, who have also kept most of their team together, but Juve, you could argue, have lost some key components, or at least one major key, shout out DJ Khaled, in Leonardo Bonucci. And they lost Dani Alves as well, but I mean... Having said that, they have added a very skilled attacker in Douglas Costa, and perhaps the signing of the summer, the bargain of the summer, Blaise Matuidi to their central defensive midfield. So here's how this Italian question is going to be answered. Juve is going to have a bit of a slow start with AC Milan and Roma taking the lead early in the season. But come May, the final table will look like this. Juve, Napoli, Roma, Inter in 4th, and AC Milan in 5th. However, I'm calling this now, AC Milan will be a team to watch in 2018. And finally, the last one, guys, in this very quick review of a bunch of leagues across Europe, we're going to Spain. La Liga, which is typically a two-horse race for the title, but for this year, I sense a change in the winds, and it's going to be a two-horse race for second place. Who will those two horses be? Well, we'll get to that, but first let's talk about the champions, and I think that it is safe to say that Real Madrid is far and away the best team in Spain, maybe even in Europe at the moment. Instead of Galacticos with big egos, they brought in younger players that fit into a system well, and have given them the time over the past couple of years to bleed into the first team. And look it's starting to bear fruit with guys like Mateo Kovacic, Asensio. Vasquez isn't the worst. Nacho's pretty damn good. Nacho to mention, ugh, that was awful. All the players in their first team, their starting 11, I should say. Modric still kills it. Toni Kroos is one of the best central midfielders in the world. Casemiro is emerging as a pretty damn good central defensive midfielder. Benzema looks like he's playing for revenge this year. Bale is back and healthy. How well will he do is there to be seen. And Ronaldo, he'll be back towards the end of September, but Asensio will certainly give him a run for his money. So Real Madrid for me are the easy choice for champions of La Liga. Now, fighting for second will be Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. No real surprises there. Both teams have some problems. Atletico can't bring in players to improve their squad, and they're going to be playing in a new stadium this season, which that's never easy. Just ask Tottenham at Wembley or Arsenal at the Emirates. However, a couple of pluses for them, big pluses for them, is that they were able to hang on to manager Diego Simeone and Antoine Griezmann, who seemed like he was destined for Manchester United. And he might be still, as his release clause is at 200, but it goes down to 100 in January. Barca, on the other hand, lost Neymar, have a new manager, and their defense looks weak. It looks quite terrible, with Piqué getting exposed more often than fake sidemen beefs. Beefs? Beeves? I think it's beefs. Yeah, it's beefs, guys. It's beefs. Anyway, if they don't find a solution to fixing their defense, and if they don't bring in a left attacker that Messi and Suarez actually trust and will make passes to, as Deulofeu didn't get that courtesy, then this could be a pretty rough season for Barcelona. However, I mean, with all that money they got from Neymar, they're definitely going to bring in either Coutinho or Ousmane Dembele. But still, I think it's going to be a rough season for Barca. And you know what? It. Let's do it. Barcelona is going to finish in 3rd, and Atletico Madrid is going to squeak into a 2nd place after getting boosted by the signing of Diego Costa come January. 4th place, that's going to be Villarreal, as they've made some nice additions to their squad this summer, even though they did lose Mr. Mustachio. Alright guys, there you have it, all the winners and runners-up from a solid few leagues around Europe. I'll save my Champions League and Europa League predictions for later on, closer to when those competitions actually start and when we know who's actually going to be in them and which groups they are placed into. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are the best. My name is Adrian from Rabona TV, and I will hopefully see you in the comments section first, telling me your predictions, and then in the next video. Peace!